Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. Today, we stand at the threshold of a paradox, beginning with a crowd full of hope, waving palms, and ending on a cross with a feeling of despair. Palm Sunday invites us to hold both realities at once, to celebrate and to grieve, to praise and to tremble. Jesus enters Jerusalem not as a conquering hero on a white horse, but riding humbly on a donkey. The people shout, Hosanna! They long for deliverance from Roman occupation, for a king who will set things right. Not unreasonable expectations. They want justice. They want peace. They want God to act. But already there is tension. The kingdom Jesus brings is not what they expect. He does not come with an army to overthrow Rome by force. Instead, he comes in vulnerability and humility in a way that reveals God's power as love, not as domination. And this is where our story changes, because the same voices that cry Hosanna will soon cry, crucify him. The same crowd that welcomes him will reject him. The same disciples who follow him will scatter and deny him. It is tempting to distance ourselves from the crowd, to imagine that we would have remained faithful, that we would have understood. But Palm Sunday asks us to look more closely and be more honest, looking into our hearts. How often do we welcome Jesus when he fits our expectations and resist him when he does not? How often do we cry out for salvation, but only on our own terms? How often do we want a God who fixes things quickly and in a way that benefits us? The truth is, we too live in that tension. We want resurrection, but we would rather avoid the cross. We want transformation, but not at the cost that comes with it. We want love, but not the vulnerability that it requires. And yet Jesus does not turn away from what he knows lies ahead. He enters Jerusalem knowing that betrayal, denial, and suffering awaits him. It's not a tragic accident, it's a deliberate act of love. The passion narrative that we heard is long and somewhat heavy. We're not meant to rush through it. We're meant to listen, to feel its weight, to recognize the depth of what is happening there. Because in the suffering of Jesus, we see something essential in God. We see a God who does not remain distant from human pain, a God who knows the depths of human suffering, a God who knows the sting of betrayal, the weight of injustice, the loneliness of abandonment, and even the shadow of death. Moreover, we see a God who responds not with violence or revenge, but with forgiveness. Father, forgive them, Jesus says from the cross, for they know not what they do. This is the heart of the gospel. Not power as the world defines it, but love poured out completely. Not victory through conquest, but victory through sacrifice. Palm Sunday confronts us with a choice. Which kind of king do we truly want? Which kind of king are we willing to enter? If we follow Jesus beyond the palms and into the passion, we are invited into a way of life marked by humility, by service, by self-giving love. A way that does not avoid suffering but transforms it instead. It's not an easy path. It requires letting go of our illusions of control. It requires trusting God even when the way forward is unclear for us. It requires standing firm in love when the world is full of fear and hostility. But it's also the path that leads to life. As we begin Holy Week, we are invited not just to observe these events, but to enter into them, to walk with Jesus, to stay with him not only in the triumph of Palm Sunday, but in the sorrow of Good Friday. Because only by going through the cross can we truly understand the power of the resurrection. So today we wave our palms. We join our voices with the crowd. Hosanna, save us. But let us also listen for the deeper call, the call to follow Jesus all the way, the call to embrace a love that is stronger than fear, stronger than death itself. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Amen.